Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are once again looking at the state wars that we did last Thursday in my brand new series called Paint 3D Thursday, which, as the title of the series says, it's Paint 3D and it's uploaded on, you guessed it, Thursdays. Last time we introduced this series within Paint 3D Thursday, and it's State Wars. Basically, the U.S. government collapses, and all 50 U.S. states were independent. So, let's go ahead and start off with a recap of what happened last episode. So, right after the U.S. government fell, Louisiana, which was right here, Mississippi, which was right here, and West Virginia, which was also right here, they all fell because they have very poor GDPs. Then, to make sure that it doesn't happen to any other states, there were some unions. Now, those unions comply. Now, the first union that was ever created was the Southern Union, and it was created in Atlanta. The states on board with that union are Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, and South Carolina. And then later, New Orleans joined when they turned into a country. And then there was another union, or not union, but alliance that popped up, headquartered in Boise. And the states that were on board with that were Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. Thirdly, the third alliance that was created is up here in the New England area, which is headquartered in Boston, and the states that are on board with that union, I don't know why I keep calling it a union, the alliance, that was situated in Boston, was Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Then, the Peninsula War happened, which took over most of the video last time. It was a war. Michigan declared war on Ohio. Ohio and Wisconsin teamed up on Michigan. Michigan called up Minnesota to take care of Wisconsin. And then later, Indiana and Illinois joined. And then, obviously, you can see the blue team decided to win. And this part is Wisconsin. Everyone remember that. And then there was another union created, situated in Columbus, Ohio, right here. For some reason it's taken a long time. It seems like it. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's just make sure it's not. There we go. States that were on board with that union were obviously Ohio, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Illinois. And that was all that happened last episode, so let's actually get right in to what's going to happen this episode. So what's going to happen this episode is going to be a civil war between Pennsylvania. Well, within Pennsylvania. I actually have to fix my tools. I haven't done this in a while. So, Western Pennsylvania secedes from Eastern Pennsylvania. And we are also going to highlight each capital. So, the capital here is Pittsburgh, which is about right there. And instead of being Harrisburg over here, it was actually moved to Philadelphia, just so it's not close to the border, because Harrisburg is like right there, or maybe like over here somewhere. So obviously, I'm just going to call it the name of their capitals because I'm going to forget West and East Pennsylvania. So Western Pennsylvania / I'm going to call them Pittsburgh, declares war on East Pennsylvania, and I'm going to call them Philadelphia. Obviously, I'm going to say that West Philadelphia is definitely stronger than East Philadelphia because they started bringing in a lot of soldiers. They started recruiting a lot. And the first thing that Philadelphia does to respond is call up Ohio. Now, they were going to call up the MO, which is the Union, but they weren't going to. They just want Ohio here, so it wouldn't be... Okay, I didn't want to do it because it would be too overpowering. And to respond, West Pennsylvania wants New York to join. So Ohio is a big country that's very mobilized. Well, it's not mobilized, but it has a big army, so it's going to take a while for them to get mobilized. But West Pennsylvania is already mobilized, New York has to get mobilized, and East Pennsylvania starts to mobilize. They all start to mobilize. So the first thing that Pittsburgh does is starts to push into Philadelphia. I'm actually going to highlight the capitals, and boom, there we go. So, New York finally mobilizes, so they start a push in here, very slowly, because they are met by Philadelphian troops. Finally, fast forward a little bit, as it's basically a stalemate over here, Ohio finally mobilizes and decides to invade. Now, obviously, Ohio very outnumbers Pittsburgh, so they go in very easily, taking away Pittsburgh's coast, or the Erie region, and pushing down around West Virginia's, or now part of Virginia's, panhandle. They start to circle the capital, but it does begin a stalemate, as a lot of troops that were fighting over here are sent back over here to manage that the capital, Pittsburgh, will not be fallen. So this is basically a good time for Philadelphia to invade back. They start a mini invasion. Over here in New York, it is very slow, as it is basically, again, a stalemate, because some of Ohio's troops, most of them are over here, but some of them were actually sent over to Philadelphia. I forgot to mention that. So Philadelphia starts a push in, but is eventually met with even more Pittsburgh troops. So the next thing to happen is actually another country going to join this war, and it's actually going to be New Jersey to counteract New York, since they are enemies. So New Jersey begins to mobilize as New York finds this out and start an invasion of northern New Jersey. So this is basically the front. Philadelphia is winning over here, but New York is winning over here. So they start going in pretty fast now. This is basically the front. They start a little bit over there. Ohio decides to do a naval invasion. So it goes through the Erie and into the Ontario. And lands right here. Wrong color. Lands right here. This isn't very a big invasion, but it does work, as New York doesn't know about it that much. They do finally notice it and begin a stalemate over here, with some of New York's troops going over here to help the naval invasion. Philadelphia manages to push back. And New Jersey, because New Jersey is finally mobilized. And this is one of the bloodiest battles of the war right here. The Battle of New York. So New Jersey and some Philadelphian troops start a naval invasion. The naval invasion fails, but they try again, and that one is successful, and they land on Manhattan and take the city. Start a push up into Long Island. The mainly rural part of Long Island, and the island is captured. With this, they start a push up here and creating a front like this. So this is now the new border. They decide to link up over here. And it becomes a stalemate for a bit. So with it being a stalemate for a bit, the blue side eventually breaks through and starts a more of invasion. Now this is the bloodiest battle of the war, the Battle of Pittsburgh. A lot of New Yorkan troops actually are over here, and a lot of, obviously, Pittsburgh troops. They want a flank to capture the city fully. Over here, they almost make it to cut off communications, but New York manages to cut them off, and the small army over here, it eventually capitulated. They try again, but on the other side, and do so successfully, and start slowly pushing in, and eventually the city is gone. With this, western Pennsylvania, or Pittsburgh now, is very, very weak, as it's very easily to push in. A lot of New Yorkan troops get out, and they manage, and they surrender. With this, they slowly start a push in here, creating a front like this. And this army over here, I completely forgot about it, is eventually pushed out. Over here, they start a small, it's basically back and forth mainly, as this is basically a stalemate. But, what happens next is Massachusetts joining the war on, Pennsylvania's side. This is mainly to counteract New York, because they are enemies. I don't think I've said that, but yeah, they are enemies. So they join to get some land over here. And actually, they convince the entire union, which is now not just an economical union, it is now actually a militarist union. Well, both. So it's just an alliance, which is just what the MO is. So they start mobilizing. New York sees this and begins a push into northern and begins a push into northern Vermont, as it's fairly easy. Right here, they cut them off over here on the top, and they start an invasion all the way down, getting into Massachusetts and pushing back a little bit of its defenses over here. Now they push down and try to do a naval invasion on Long Island. They actually do so successfully, but New Jersey does know about it, and they start sending troops over here, which gives New York an advantage to go back. New Jersey troops they win back the island, but they notice that New York has pushed them back a lot, taking many cities like Newark, and begins to inch towards their capital. Now, with all the troops back here, it becomes a stalemate, and all of the Philadelphian troops and Ohioan troops start a push in to save New Jersey, and they do so successfully as they push up. The NEA finally mobilizes, and they push New York out. Out here, and begin to inch towards the capital of Albany. wrong tool. Albany. So they start a push back in as it's not looking good for New York. They cut them off from the sea, so they can't do any more naval invasions, and they start slowly going. Now another naval invasion from Ohio and this time Philadelphia both join and create a naval invasion right here again, and it is very successful as all the New York troops are over here fighting this giant war. The army sweeps down and captures cities such as Niagara Falls, but do not capture Buffalo as it is right here. And it becomes a stalemate because some of them are some troops are over here, and this this army is about the same number as the troops in Buffalo. So they start a push up here. And eventually the NEA breaks in even further and inches towards Albany. With this, this army actually finally, with the help of both armies, joins and captures Buffalo. And they want a cutoff which will mainly make New York surrender. So the NEA starts a small push over here, doing so successfully. So is the Ohio, and they do so successfully. And as New York is basically trapped, they start losing a lot of land. And this is the second, actually, this is the first bloodiest battle of the war, the Battle of Pittsburgh, which happened a couple minutes ago. This was also a bloody battle. It was the third bloodiest battle. So this is the second bloodiest battle of the war. The NEA starts a small push near Albany. They do capture some of the city, but they want where am I? I'm in South Dakota somewhere. But they do want a flank off the side, and they do so successfully. Now there is a lot of troops in the Albany capital, so it does take them a while, and obviously not this quick, but they inch towards, as this probably takes about a year, well not a year, but a couple months, and finally fast forward a bit, and Albany is gone. With this, New York surrenders over to the blue side. That was a lot of war. So this is what's going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is New Jersey getting New York, as they've always wanted it. I mean, in real life, they have some claims over here, so they probably want that. Second thing, over here, some Massachusetts is extended a little bit. There we are. Connecticut is extended, as it is extended through here. So this is Connecticut. Over here in Vermont, they don't want much, but they do end up getting this little bit right here. The boot of Vermont. It looks like a boot now. And Pennsylvania gets a bit of New York. Right, that. And there we go. I'd have to clean that up. There we go. So they get more access to the sea. And actually, they also get this piece. Actually, they split it between Connecticut and Pennsylvania. Connecticut was going to give all of it to Pennsylvania, but to be nice to Connecticut, they split it. And with this, New York is pretty messed up, as a lot of the enemies took a lot of their space. Obviously, Ohio didn't get anything. Well, no. They claim that they don't want anything because it would be hard to maintain, as it will be sort of far away. And obviously, let's just say that Albany is right here on the border of Massachusetts, on the corner, so that can't be the capital of New York. So instead of their capital being Albany, they wanted to move it to New York City, but obviously New York City is now part of New Jersey, so they actually move it to Buffalo. So Buffalo, which is about right there, is the new capital of New York. So that is that war. But the final thing of the war, obviously I said this alliance is a normal alliance now. Not just economical, not just militarist, but both. So it's economical and a militarist alliance, like NATO. Well, also the MO is like NATO, which one country declares war on that country. Most of the time, pretty high chance that all of the country will come to its aid. Just like this, especially to this, because a lot of these states are weak. Besides Massachusetts and maybe like Connecticut now. Vermont is probably still weak. But the last thing to happen fully is for the MO to open arms to Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So now Pennsylvania and New Jersey are a part of the MO. And I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video of, well, this war. And, I mean, it was fun. The Pennsylvania Civil War was really fun. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video of Paint 3D Thursday, the second episode. And I will see you all on Sunday, next Sunday. But that will be a Minecraft video. So I'll see you on Sunday for a Minecraft video, but I'll see you on Thursday for another Paint 3D video, which is going to be a part 3 to this. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be Sunday, but another part of this series will be on Thursday. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next upload, which again is Sunday.